Okay, it's my turn now. I was really inspired by Natasha Bowen's speech yesterday. I don't know if she's here, but I can't wait to read her book. So I've been thinking about the theme for the conference ever since Enid got in touch with me to see if I could come. And I've been thinking about how the theme of food justice is really personal for farmers. It's physical. We've got the dirt under our nails as a reminder. When the food is good and people can afford it and the farmers are making a living, that's personal for us with the dirt under our nails. That's pride and contentment. When the soil is depleted and only the rich can afford to eat well, when the labor is undervalued or white people persistently dominate the industry, that's personal too for farmers. And there's no escaping it with the dirt under our nails like that. And I've been thinking about how farm work also makes history personal for me through my labor. I'm convinced that just as efforts for food justice must be personal for us, must come from a recognition that we all live on this planet and we all need to eat, so efforts for racial justice must become personal too, must come from a recognition that we live in a racist country and that condition is unlivable for all of us. It's not just a headline from the South when the officer who killed Michael Brown sees no trial, because that tree has deep roots in a history that we all share. The legacies of slavery and colonial violence linger like heavy metals in the very soil of our country, our whole country. And each of us in her own way takes up those poisons and carries them. For anyone who experiences racism on a daily basis, the personal stake in dismantling racist systems is obvious, reinforced by that daily experience. If that's not true for you, you have to do the work of unlearning your distance from it, looking closer at the economies that you participate in, the labor force, the prison population, looking closer at the buildings around you, the landscape, the land. So the poem I'm going to do today is about Rhode Island, because that's specifically where I'm from, and I'm trying to get personal here. But I really encourage all of you to dig into your own soil and deal with the dirt under your fingernails. And I also wanted to mention before I do my poem, Ross brought up Robert Frost, and Robert Frost is the epigraph of the poem that I'm doing today. And he's he was a proud Vermonter, failed farmer turned famous poet, which is like my second choice for a career. If my farm fails, I'll take famous poet. So Robert Frost is going to kick it off for my poem.
Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it, and spills the upper boulders in the sun, and makes gaps even two can pass abreast.
Something there is that doesn't love a wall,
that sends the frozen ground swell under it, and spills the upper boulders in the sun. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. That sends the frozen ground swell under it, and spills the upper boulders in the sun. And makes gaps even two can pass abreast. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wipes it down, 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 that wipes it down, that wipes it down.
Hey, New England farmer, tell me what you got. I got a barrel full of boulders and a bucket full of rocks. Hey, New England farmer, tell me what you got. I got a barrel full of boulders and a bucket full of rocks. Hey, New England farmer, tell me what you got. Got a barrel full of boulders and a bucket full of rocks. I've been picking them all morning, and I sure have picked a lot, but it's almost time for planting, so I can't afford to stop. Can't stop. Hey, New England farmer, tell me what you got. Got a barrel full of boulders and a bucket full of rocks. The sun is getting hot and my arms are getting tired, but the rains are on their way, so I can't afford to stop. Can't stop. I don't know what to tell you. It's the plowman calling. I've been out here all morning. Field's got a hell of a lot of rocks. If I'd known it was this bad, I might have told you not to bother. I don't own the field he's talking about, but I am hoping to make my living off it this year, so I try to stay positive. This is New England. The first harvest is always rocks, right? Sure, he says, you're the farmer. But you girls better get picking if you're hoping to plant anything else out here. Hey, New England farmer, there you are, bent over picking rocks. Untucked shirt, first sunburn emerging across the small of your back. Rocks, the spring's first harvest. They pop out obvious as the crown of an infant's head, birthed forth by the dirt, the frozen ground swell. That remembered chalk arrives on your winter soft palms. So many rocks. You bend for them again, soft-handed, filling each bucket till it nearly unsockets a shoulder. Carry 'em off a ways, dump 'em in a pile, and do that all day. What a life to choose at 22. This lease on a field of melted iceberg, this sunburn, this annual thickening of the hands. And what a pile you've made over there at the field edge, haphazard monument to your own labor. If the old stone walls are any indication, that pile will outlast you by centuries. Outlast your sweetest carrot, your sweatiest poem. I dare say that pile is where your ghost will go, New England farmer, tossing a rock forever between its calloused hands. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, but New Englanders do. We're suckers for lichen, for the old walls veining the forests, proof of how hard-working we once were. We might not have pyramids, but we have miles of piled stone, dropped and thrown in jagged lines all over Rhode Island, even where there are no cows anymore, no crops at all. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen groundswell under it. But they do seem to last, long after the memory of who built them escapes the pages of our school books. I come upon a wall during a walk in the forest and touch my own calluses and think, once a person lifted each of these rocks from the field as I myself have done, and walked with them and dropped them here. And for a moment, I think I see his ghost, New England farmer, colonial myth, his thick hands, the click of his stones as they fell, all over Rhode Island and the Providence plantations. Wait, plantations in Rhode Island? Aren't we too small and too far north for that word? No, Rhode Island. Tiny, violent port. Source of over half the slave trading voyages of North America. And here, the stiff spines of my childhood textbooks snap under the weight of their silences. The innocent North I was taught to be so proud of. Our blue uniforms, our occasional rooms hidden under the floor, But even the Underground Railroad had a reverse track. In Fugitive Slave Acts, how the North sent slaves back. And our mills were ravenous for cotton, and our distilleries filled the empty ships with rum. Oh, Rhode Island, tiniest slave state, where every spring the rocky soil birthed forth another crop, and enslaved Africans and Narragansetts picked the rocks. This is documented. And carried them off a ways, dropped them in a line, and did that all day. Hey, New England farmer, tell me what you got. Miles and miles of silent proof. The lichen growing over each stone, your own forgetfulness. Something there is that doesn't love a wall. I touch my calluses and think. Even the ache in my shoulders is mine. What a life to choose, this sweet sunburn, this sweet thickening of the hands. And that pile of rocks yonder, ambivalent monument. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen groundswell under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun. So this is where your ghost will go. This is where your ghost will go. Thanks.